Hello, how's it going everybody? Wanting to make a video on this picture that Fromsoft tweeted a couple months ago. I know I'm very late on this, but I wanted to at least give my thoughts on this, like what's happening in this painting, what might happen, give predictions, and give my personal thoughts of what when when I'd like this to happen, at what time place I'd like this to happen. Before I start, I want to say there's going to be spoilers in this. If you guys don't want to hear any spoilers, I suggest you close the video and come back once you've caught up and beat everything. I'll be talking about a bit of the spoilers in Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3 potentially. So let's get started. Alright, so let's start off with the foreground here. So we have this field, a golden field of wheat and barley. We have a figure on a steed, on a spirit steed that looks similar to Torrent. And if we zoom in, let's talk about Torrent. This looks very similar to the Torrent that we all know and love, but it's quite different. It has more of a regal feel to it. It has more fur, like a lot more fur on it. It's a lot thicker and it has a lighter color to it, like almost white. And if you compare the two, I have a picture already set up. It's quite similar with the horns, the fur on its back, the long fur, right? It has that same color that this one has. The horn is actually quite different. See how it swerves like that compared to this one too? So it might be a different spirit seed completely from Torrent, and we really haven't seen any other spirit steed except Torrent, the one that we ride all the time. And also we notice that the shorter the hair gets, the darker the fur is. So there, unless it's like maintained, I'm gonna assume this is a completely different spirit steed from Torrent right now with what I see right now. I could be wrong and it could be Torrent. We'll have to find out. And the person riding Torrent, well, not Torrent, but this spirit steed is Miquella. Now, we haven't really heard much about Miquella except through lore and the dialogue of characters talking about Miquella, but we really haven't really interacted with Miquella at all. Like, at first I thought it would be a different character, but if you zoom in on him, like, you could see the hair color, right? It's braided, it has 3 braids, 4 braids here, golden hair, and if you compare it to this picture, this is the piece of artwork we see with the at the beginning of the game when you start the game and the narrator is talking about each character and what's going on in the lands between. You see he is being carried by Moog or kidnapped. Like Miquella seems like it's passed out here. It has the same braided hair in each line, and yeah, so that is Miquella. And if you zoom out, you could see Miquella looking towards the Erdtree, or something that looks similar to the Erdtree. I'm assuming it's the Erdtree because the title says it's Shadow of the Erdtree, right? And we'll talk about this in a bit. So let's go on to the middle ground. So there's not much happening in the middle ground, just like the foreground. You could see these golden ghosts or translucent figures like tombs, flags, and stuff, right? And they're in the middle and foreground, and they're also in the background. So I don't know if I hope that they talk about this more when the DLC releases, but it's hard to say. We don't really know too much about these ghostly figures. We also see ruins and tombs and stuff. We see tombs here. We see ruins on the left in a misty area. We also see it on the right. So there's going to be dungeons and quite a lot of enemies and stuff to loot in these areas in the middle ground. And it kind of reminds me of Altus Plateau. If you look at the misty area and the golden area, like Altus Plateau has more of like a everything's golden. Like all the trees are like bright, the fields are bright. It's not like quite as dense as these fields, but there's also like misty areas in the Altus Plateau as well too with enemies. So it's gonna be quite interesting. Alright, so now let's get to the background. So in the background, the main piece is the Erdtree. It's a lot skinnier. You see another tree wrapping around it. Assuming the title called Shadow of the Erdtree, so we don't know much about this. Like, is it the shadow, like, is it like trying to help the Erdtree, or is it trying to bring it down? We don't know too much about it, but we can tell that Erdtree is a lot smaller. It's hard to tell if it's like a younger version of the Erdtree, or these are the events that happened after we burned the tree to beat the final boss, right? To get access. So it's kind of difficult. So like if you look at some of the pictures like in game, you can see like anywhere you are, the Erdtree gives off this big presence, emanating so much light throughout the lands between. And like no matter where you are, this is the beginning area, that like it has like a really big importance and presence in the area, and it plays a big part in the world. So it's quite interesting. Like at first it's really difficult to tell if it's like bringing it down or not, because normally like if you look at trees, you don't really see trees like together, growing together like this. And you see this one like wrapping around it like that, right? So at first I thought it was like maybe bringing it down, but it's kind of hard to tell. And if you look up, it looks like there's a bit of a figure here. Like it's kind of hard to tell. Like you can see this is its back, this is his leg trying to wrap around it. This is his other leg. This is his arm. Like this is his other arm wrapping around it as well too. And like it's kind of hard to say. Like it looks like there's a face here, but it's quite difficult to make it out. Like let's try and zoom in. It's kind of hard to say if there's a face here or not, but it seems like there is. Like, and you see Mikola looking directly at it, right? So is Mikola controlling this? Is previous gods that we defeated helping in this, or what's going on? Also, my prediction in this is this might be taking place in the present. I think this might be taking place in the present events, but it's really difficult to say like what's really going on, because this gives us a lot of information, but at the same time it doesn't really give us a lot either. Like, this could be potentially be taking place in the past as well too, right? And also, I wanted to touch up on, like, the Erdtree leaking out golden light as well too. And this is, like, having an effect on the world. Like, you can see it getting... It starts off dark here. Then as you get closer, there's a bit of light now compared to, like, the pictures here. Like, look how much light it's giving off here compared to here now. That is huge. That is a huge difference. So this tree might be helping the Erdtree, or this is like a right time for it to take advantage of and take it down maybe. It's really hard to tell. But personally, I hope this takes place in the past. Because there is so much happening in the past that I'd like it to touch up on. Like, there are so many unanswered questions. Like, I would love to see, like, playing through the main story of the Elden Ring, fighting all the bosses. Some of the bosses we fought them at probably their weakest point in their lives. Like, Radon is one of the few examples. Like, when we fight Radon, we fight him when he's, like, brainless. He has scarlet rot in his brain. He has no legs. He's on his weak horse that is, like, tired of carrying him. And at the same time, he's holding back the stars. I would love to fight him at his fullest, at his peak. But I don't think that's something FromSoft might do. But that is something personally I want. And it'd be cool if this took place in the past and we got to fight him again, like, at his fullest potential, right? Because there's quite a few other bosses that we fought at their full potential. One of them being Melania. When we fight her, like, she has a second phase where she evolves again and becomes a goddess of the Scarlet Rot. So that is another... Like, we fought Melania at her best. I'd love to fight, like, a couple of bosses at their best. And there are, like, other bosses that I'd like to see and talk to, like Godwyn the Golden. That is one boss I'd love to talk to, potentially fight as well. Another one is... Another one would be Radagon. Radagon is another good boss I'd like to fight again, or Marika herself. That'd be quite interesting if we could go back into the past and fight these bosses at their fullest potential, because Radagon and Marika, they're broken into pieces when we were fighting them. So that'd be another one. I'd love to see the Lunar Princess Rani as well, like, without her doll form. Like, there's, like, I know there's, like, theories going around that Melina is Rani's body, and I'd like some of these theories to come to fruition, but I don't know if that's I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, those are, like, some of the stuff that I named. Like, the present is also filled with a lot of stuff left undone as well too. Like Rykard. Like, after we defeated him, we go back into the area, he's still alive. Like what's gonna happen with that? Is he related to the tree as well too? Another one is Godfrey. Like, I'd like to see him in the past too, like, fighting him in the past. Like, how's it any different from any he is now? And yeah, I'd love to see all of that. But it's gonna be one or the other when this DLC comes out. I mean, it could be both, but it'll be quite interesting. But yeah, that's it for me. If you guys enjoy the vid or have any theories yourself, post them down in the comment. If you enjoyed the vid, like it, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out. Follow me on Twitch. If you guys want to join my Discord, I have that as well. And thank you guys for watching, and peace.